No, we haven't done this in a while. We haven't done this in a while.
China or America? Who's gonna
Yeah,
win this global trade war? This,
that's the question.
we've been following this. It feels like for weeks now. Maybe it has only been days. I'm not sure. But we've been doing videos closely following this trend, this global news, because the whole world is watching what is happening between China, America, and the world. It started out with President Donald Trump's trade tariffs. And I know news is moving so quick and so swiftly these days, so let's get some context. A few weeks ago, President Donald Trump said that he was going to put global tariffs on every country basically in the world. He started out at a 10% base rate, okay? That's where it started. And countries that he said were doing like higher tariffs towards the US, like South Africa, Madagascar, China, Japan, Malaysia was high up on that list as well. All of these countries, he was saying, y'all gonna be hit with like 30% to 60% tariffs, upwards closer to 54%. I think China was the highest. Then he did that switcheroo. I think it was last week or the week before. He manipulated the entire market. And you know what market manipulation is. Maybe you can break that down after so that people understand. But he switched, like he did a 360 and said, okay, no more tariffs. The only one that's getting tariffed is China.
Yeah.
And that's just the middle of the story. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Okay.
No, it's funny because that's just really what's happening. Is manipulation. And he did that for a reason, just to see who's gonna stand up. And it was China. China was like, look, nah, we I don't care what you say. Who are you? You know, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna tariff you back. So that's just what it is. That, and you know, Trump, he said, okay, nobody. So we're not going to tariff, or they're keeping Mexico and Canada, right? They still have 25%.
Do they?
But all the rest of them they paused.
Okay.
So with him doing that, the market just, it went crazy. Like every time Donald Trump says something, the market's going to react. So you gotta pay close attention to what he be saying. Probably this week. It is a big week, even today. And like I want to say an hour or so. You're gonna see the market do something good or bad, because the U.S. dollars has been falling. Has been falling. It's just getting weaker and weaker, right? And it seems like and it's not at its lowest point. You get what I'm saying? Like 2020, 2021 and stuff.
Okay.
But it's still falling. And it's a lot of things going on with this tariff stuff, because China's standing up is something. It should be telling, you know, you guys something, like, really. It should be telling people like, maybe I should start thinking or looking into China, right? Maybe I should start looking into why is it always China and the U.S. or Russia and the U.S.?
Because they're a threat. At the end of the day, the reality is that China is a huge threat. And back to the middle of the story, we didn't even get to the full context. That was just the middle, okay? The next thing that happened after all of those tariffs and then undo the tariffs, China said, okay, because after President Donald Trump released tariffs on other people, he amped it up again on China and said, I thought he first said 84 or 85, and then he said
125,
45, and then China replied back and said, we're going to hit you with 125% tariffs, okay? And here's what that means. For the U.S., when they tariff China, that basically means they're putting additional taxes on the food and the products, the pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical industry is taking a hit that come from China to America, making it more pricey for the American citizens to purchase these Chinese products. On the flip side, in China, if America is shipping Ford vehicles over there, now it's more expensive. If they're shipping Apple iPhones, now it's more expensive for the Chinese citizens to acquire these products from America. Okay? So that's what's going on here. But again, this is only 67% of the story. There's still more. Then this week, which we have been covering, TikTok goes crazy, and it's like all the Chinese inventory people that are, I don't know where they're at, but you know, we had never heard them speak this much. But this week, They have been on it with TikTok telling you that Louis Vuitton, Hermes, what were the other brands that were mentioned? I don't even follow all these.
Just pretty much
every luxury brand,
everything really when you think
is
about
created by the Chinese, and if one is a knockoff, they're all knockoffs. That's essentially what China said. And so, y'all, then we have more breaking news with China. On top of all this, just today, and I'm reading CBSnews.com. Y'all know we don't typically listen to American news stations, but this one in particular hits like, oh, because I understand how contracts work and how some of these global contracts shift. And so listen to this. China orders its airlines to stop accepting deliveries of Boeing jets, report says. Now, does anybody know what Boeing is? I'll tell you right now. Boeing is a manufacturer of airplanes and airplane parts, okay? What does this mean? Boeing is one of the largest contractors to the federal government, okay? This is public information. China halts the US Boeing deliveries. This is going to decimate, 1, the travel industry, 2, the logistics industry, 3, further decimate the US economy. I'm going to call it right now from a fundamental standpoint. This is going to send the stock market down to a deeper plunge. Mm-hmm. Netflix right now, as of today, is like the only stock that is doing decently well. So, and they're online. You know, we always say, do some, these retailers, they are on the bad end of this deal. Because at the end of the day, President Donald Trump and his cabinet and the elites, they're still going to have their money. Yeah, they may take a little dip, a little hit, but come on now.
No,
Donald Trump don't care about eggs.
Look, he's doing this for a reason. I saw a video of him. He was talking to some group of people. He was like, "Hey, this guy just made $1 billion yesterday." Oh yeah, and this guy, he made 2.5 billion off what he was saying in the stock market.
Was he talking about crypto?
So no, just literally just playing the stock market. So just say if Trump is about to say, hey, I'm about to do tariffs, and then the stock market just plunged the last couple of weeks, he's probably telling his group of friends and stuff, if you're in the know, you're making money. But if you're not, and if you're not smart, you get what I'm saying? If you don't notice how the stock market and things work, you know, you're going to be losing money. But that video, it was very eye-opening, because he was just bragging about how many people made billions when lots of people lost a lot of money in a day. I'm talking about billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, and the stock market gone, wiped away. But somebody had to make it. It didn't just disappear. Somebody had to make it. So you gotta be on the right side of the stocks when I say that. But at the end of the day, I like that comment that somebody said. It's all about the word. It's all about the word coming true. And how does this information, how does this news tie in to what prophecy says?
Right.
That's what you always have to think about.
Yeah.
Like this stuff is happening for a reason. This is supposed to happen. So don't get too distracted about, oh, this is going down, this is going up, this and that. At the end of the day, we know prophecy is going to come true. So how can we align ourselves up with prophecy and benefit from what's happening now?
Yeah. Revelations 18 is such a good, I'm glad you shared that. That's literally the epitome of what's happening right now. And nobody knew it would look like this, but it was prophesied by John the Revelator. Babylon the Great has fallen. She has become a dwelling place for every type of demon and haunted spirit.
That's deep.
And so when people say like, oh, fear mongering, it's like, no, actually the scriptures, the prophecy says it. We're just going off what the word says. We didn't make this up. We ain't that smart to make up all these prophecies. This is literally what the word of the Most High says. That's literally telling you in Revelations 18, and it's called Lament Over Babylon the Fallen, okay? And so a lot of people may not understand America is certainly Mystery Babylon. And if you didn't think so, you can look at the stock market and the economy and the decimating ties between America and the EU right now and see, oh, something's up, something's a little different.
Something's going on, yeah.
Something, and it's bigger than something, because I saw another article today. Germany's economy is also failing. So they are trying to get their economy back up. And does anybody know what Germany has historically done? Has anybody heard of German East Africa? Huh? Anybody heard of when the German colonized and still colonized Namibia and rape it of its land and resources to the point where most of the land in Namibia is not owned by Namibian people? So I don't understand how people can say in the same breath, oh, that's not really Mystery Babylon. That's not really what's happening. Judgment is at the door, period. You can get with it or get lost, because at the end of the day, whether you believe the truth or not, the truth is going to stand.
Yeah, truth is coming out right in people's face, and it's just like, what don't people see? Like, what was it? Back in 2019, it was like just if you really think about that, 2019, 2020, like that was a world event that happened that affected the whole world. And all this knowledge poured out.
Yeah.
Like the word says, knowledge will pour out in the last days. And just depends on how people is going to accept it. Like it's crazy that it's literally just a divide. It's literally just a divide. Are you gonna live in reality and realize, hey, what is the truth and what is a lie in reality? You're gonna have to choose. What is fake, what is real in reality. It's not about the little side thing we've been seeing lately. The goggles, the I don't know what's it called, the VR thing.
Oh, VR?
The
No,
VR
that's not
stuff,
reality,
like,
y'all. That's not reality.
If you would have said this 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you'd probably be like, nah, ain't no way. That stuff not gonna happen. But it's literally happening right now.
Yeah. Back to our article, y'all. We're reading now from Reuters, just so y'all know who's gonna win this trade war. The morning bid, okay? This is from today, just a few hours ago, okay? U.S.-China trade war goes full throttle, okay? Coming out of London. And you may say, well, why does London care about this? Why does Germany care about this? The Western nations care about this because when one Western power falls, they're all gonna come crashing. This is why it's best to be in the Southern Hemisphere in these times. Have proximity to both African and Asian markets, period. Then we're gonna go into a bit of a history lesson because, look, the way the Chinese people said it, they said, look, we've been here for 5,000 years. America's been here for 250-ish. So who do you think is going to still be around? I don't know, just take a wild guess. But look, the escalating U.S.-China trade war has expanded and moved beyond tariffs, now hitting everything. Everything, just for the people in the back. From chips, talking about like AI chips that you have in your computer, your phones,
Chips
companies like NVIDIA, MicroStrategy, to planes. Hello, travel. To planes, airplanes, and pharmaceuticals. Okay, so the drugs that a lot of people are on that they should not be on from a health perspective are going to be more expensive. President Donald Trump didn't tell the average American that. He didn't let the average American know. FYI, those of you who have to take these different high blood pressure, different heart congestion, maybe some type of seizure medication, whatever medications that you're on that you have to deal with, these things are going to increase in cost, and they're already expensive because the pharmaceutical industry is already just what it is. Let's put it like that. The tensions upended this week's fragile market stability while hitting the dollar again. But the good side, we are invested in gold. We're going to link our broker down below. We have a few different brokers, but we're going to link one of our favorites, Mumu. We invested in gold, held it while it was going down. Held on, and it was hard, y'all. I was looking at that like, child, this is ghetto. But I'm so glad we held on because now it's hitting a brand new high. Gold is trading for $3,200 per ounce. Unheard of. Because when markets fluctuate, what happens is that people start to look into heavy metals again. They start to look into gold. They start to look into silver. They start to look into diamonds. And guess what? Ghana had just announced that they're kicking all the folks out who have been raping and taking their gold as well. Just yesterday they announced that.
Yeah, it's a lot of gold talk. It's a lot of gold talk, and if you realize like it just blows my mind. Like everything's going back to the ancient days. It's going back to trading. Um, so you're gonna have to get the logistics down of trading at the end, like for real, soon. And if you're not understanding about gold and trading, like physical gold or digital gold, like on brokers and stuff like that, but physical gold, countries are telling people to give back our gold. Burkina Faso is telling, hey, the French telling, we holding this until you pay your debt and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just going back to the ancient of days, and you just got to be in the right position. Like really, like I don't want to say it's too late, but it's getting there. It's really getting there. Like, cause it's a mental thing too. Like if you're really not already, if you don't have your passport, get your passport, please, please. Just get your passport, please. If you're not already trying to save, to get out of the West and stuff, you don't have some type of savings, if you don't have some type of plan for the next 2 years, 5 years, if you don't have a country outside of America that you're going to go to, because it's plenty. It's plenty. It's right there on our phones. Like, I just did a video earlier. I'm like, man, this guy, I showed speed. He's in China right now, showing everybody, the whole world. He streams it. He streams it every day for hours at a time. A brother. And there's 10,000 people following him.
Oh, gosh.
Of course he got security around him and stuff, but it's not crazy. Like, just think in America. Just think if there was a black celebrity around and they going around, they ain't never been to a city or something like that, and they just go to the hood or something. Just think about that. I'm pretty sure your thoughts is like, hey, they probably about to get robbed. They don't care about no security around them. But there in China, it's not that. It's 10,000 people following this guy, just saying, yes, thank you for coming. You're awesome. You get what I'm saying? You really got to think about the ancient days of what China had done.
In the ancient days?
In the ancient days of America, China, like really.
Yeah, China in the ancient days, if any, because I despise when I hear Americans say this. Y'all ready for what I despise? I despise when I hear Americans say, why is Africa investing with China? Hello, China is one of the oldest civilizations on the earth, as well as a multitude of civilizations in Africa. Understand that the African continent, filled with 54 distinct, different countries, are grown folks, okay? Period. They can trade and will continue to trade with whoever they please, because you're dealing with ancient kingdoms. America's brand new. 1776, one of the newest countries on the face of the earth. One of the newest, not the newest, one of the newest. At the end of the day, when the word says that you need to seek the ancient path and go back to the ancient path, don't you think you should understand the dynamics of what countries and civilizations were ruling in these ancient path days? This should be logical. This should be just common sense. Like, understand that the Swahili coast, made up of Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, Somalia, Djibouti, all the way down to South Africa, have been known to trade with ancient China pre-Christianity, so pre the crucifixion of our Savior Yahusha, who some call Jesus. Meaning China would trade with Africans. And before that time, during that time period, you had Afro-Chinese, Afro-Japanese. So it's like, let's get some context here. Let's not talk from Western propaganda. Let's not talk from white supremacy. Let's talk with some context and some historical referencing, because it takes just 20 seconds on Google to say, hey, what were the Chinese relations with ancient Africa?
Look, ChatGPT. What's it called? ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
For real. You gotta think about it, chat. Just do it. Everybody do it now. It's like, yeah, I was asking ChatGPT this, and I'm like, really? Like, wow. But yeah, like, it's right there at the fingertips. You gotta use these tools.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Really. But yeah, this AI stuff is like, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about. And my thing with China, go look up China's school system too.
They don't play.
It's like, man, this stuff is like, it's common sense of, I know where I would want to be if I had to choose between China or the USA. Like,
I'm gonna choose China over the USA.
Yeah.
Period. You would find me living in a village in China before you find me in the West. Period. But y'all already know that. Those of you who have been subscribed, y'all know we've been in Africa 5 years. Y'all know we preach and teach on this channel. The West is not a place that you want to live in long term.
yeah,
The US dollar is at an all-time low since 2022. The US dollar is not sustainable. You have economists that are coming out and warning you, saying, hey,
yeah,
I'm 50, 60 years old. I own these multi-million-dollar firms, and I'm telling you, something is coming that is going to be worse than the Great Depression.
yeah. Worse, the numbers is already there. The graphs is already there.
If you can analyze data and research, but if you're spending your time on things that do not drive a bottom line, that do not help your legacy and lineage to the 10th generation, that do not amount to anything that adds value to your life, then you're going to completely miss it. And
Yeah.
it won't be because people didn't warn you, but it will be because you didn't have the focus and stability and peace in your mind to be able to analyze what actually matters in these times.
Yeah. The only way I can see America surviving what's coming, and it's not going to survive. That's what I'm saying. So
The economy, it'll
the
still
economy.
be a country. It'll
Yeah.
still be there.
Is
You'll still see US dollar.
is digital assets. I can see what's happening now. What Trump is doing is manipulating the market, liquidating the market and stuff, and trying to flip it. It's going to be a flip of a switch to digital assets. And if you are behind the scenes, you will benefit from it. But if you wait until we like, oh, I'm just gonna wait till you flip, and then it's already like Bitcoin price of 80,000, you know, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out. So that's only gonna be for a couple years. I'll tell you that. It's not gonna be forever like the US dollar or gold. Put it like that. It's not gonna be gold. But it's a lot of talk that a flip of a switch is gonna happen. Even with gold, that can be a digital asset too. The technology is right here in front of our face, and we know what's happening. We know what's coming. So be right behind it, so you won't be affected by it.
Yeah, understand, and don't be afraid of it. This isn't the time to be afraid. It's the time to be knowledgeable. You know, this weird phrase fear mongering is so taken out of context. I don't know if it's due to the lack of education, the lack of understanding definitions of actual words. But at the end of the day, for you to look at the market and understand what's happening is not fear mongering. It's you being knowledgeable. Right? We wouldn't say it's fear mongering. Like if you had a diagnosis of high blood pressure, and then you tell your cousin down the road, yeah, I've been looking up this high blood pressure trying to figure out what's what. And they say that's fear mongering, you know, it's too negative. It's like, no, I'm trying to understand what's happening. I need to understand what's going on so that I can take care of myself and do some preventative medicine to stop whatever's going to come in the future. Because at the end of the day, just like in healthcare, when I used to work in healthcare, we would always teach prevention is easier than the cure. Be someone that takes the prevention right now, which is you becoming more knowledgeable. You do not need to have an MBA in corporate finance to read the news and understand what's going on and start to say, okay, what does this mean? Also take this in prayer and say, okay, Father, what does this mean? Is there any truth to what they're saying? Go look at Revelations 18. Go look at 2nd Esdras. Go look at Jeremiah 50 and 51 and say, okay, is there any truth to what's happening? Like, what's going on? Break this down for me, Father. Because we know, as the scripture states, that if you ask for knowledge, he's going to give it to you. If you don't have wisdom, don't fret. Just ask, and he's freely going to give it to you. But we cannot be in a place where we are just not understanding, where we're like, ignorance is bliss, and nothing's happening, and this is fear-mongering. At the end of the day, when eggs are 4 times the price that they currently are, you won't see planes getting off the ground because Boeing has just dropped their contracts and they won't have funding, and that's going to decimate the economy and cause a domino effect. This just released just a few hours ago with Boeing, by the way. when you have these things happening, it's not going to pay off for you 6 months down the line to look back like, oh, I wasn't prepared. It's not for a lack of knowledge, because we have Google and we have people like us there coming and telling you guys what's going on.
Yeah,
exactly. Our member, S. Edgy. America is not the reference point of the existence of mankind, notwithstanding of trading. Exactly. Literally, like I need that on a shirt.
Yeah.
I need that on my wall. This is what we teach our children. Like, understand, the center of the universe is not America and Western society. It's not.
Like, really, and you got to know that you are a special type of people. We are a special type of people. And I'm not trying to be prideful or nothing, but that's just scripture, right? And it gets to a point where you have to be you got to have some type of common sense of BRICS, put it like that. Okay. These countries, Brazil is right below North America, right? Russia is Brazil, Russia, China. You get what I'm saying?
South Africa down there.
South Africa, it's all spread everywhere. India. So these countries do not want to use the US dollar. They don't want to go through the US dollar to pay the other country. It's common sense. These countries are spread all over the world, and they just want to trade amongst their currency. So this technology that's coming is needed for BRICS. And I'm not trying to say, BRICS is going to take over the world, this and that. It's bigger than BRICS.
Right.
And it's you. It's us. It's about us. It's about the woman. It's about Hasatan coming for the woman in the wilderness.
The Revelations 12 woman.
Yeah. So all this stuff is happening for a reason. You just gotta be ahead. The economists, the people with money, they're saying, hey, I'm gonna start investing in Africa now. East Africa in general, and in South Africa, because 10 years from now it's gonna look totally different.
Yeah, they move like the Chinese, y'all. They move according to what's gonna be in the future.
Yeah. Government movement.
They move on a whole different level.
They're not trying to. If they sending people to a country, that person got to speak the language, know the culture, stay in I'm telling you, we seen it.
Yeah.
Back in Tanzania.
Up close.
Up close. Tanzania. Look, I almost got caught up with gambling.
Gambling?
You remember I was like, babe, we need to buy these little games. These games that the
Chinese
local people,
I forgot
the local people
that.
play every day and spend all their money on. Like, the local people, they get these coins, 500 or something. They be 10,000. Let me switch $5 over and put. Oh, I lost.
But you didn't tell the part that the Chinese brought the machines in.
Yes, the Chinese every day
in Tanzania.
Every day they come pick up a check. And I talked to the owner. I was cool with the owner. I'm like, dang, so how much do y'all do they be making every day? He said, maybe like 150,000, 200,000 T-shillings. I'm talking T-shillings. So that's probably like what? Like 75, like 75,
that's 100, a lot for them.
$100 a
that's
day.
That's a lot for a Tanzanian.
Yeah. That you live in a local life, you're good.
Yeah.
And this is just one machine.
Right.
They got machines all the way down the street. So they think like that, where hey, this is what the local people like, so I'm going to put it there for them, and I'm going to make money off of it.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would never go in nobody's community. Yeah. And that's like going in somebody's community to sell liquor, to open a club, just to tempt people. I don't tempt people for money. I completely wouldn't do that from a moral standpoint. But that is how certain groups of people think. Like, it's like at the end of the day, if certain communities will not get the knowledge, then you're going to, whether you want the knowledge or not, then you're going to be on the bad end of the receiving stick if you don't acquire it. So closing your eyes and pretending nothing's happening is not going to help you. Yeah. It's better to take a deep breath, put on some strength, put on your big man, big girl pants, and, look into this. Because guess what? Just a few minutes ago, breaking news. Vietnam tells China
sold like 30
they're ready
contracts.
to join BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, Vietnam. Okay?
I think they just
What?
signed like 30 contracts, Vietnam and China too. Look that up real quick. Maybe on the next one. I saw something like that.
Vietnam has a nice digital nomad visa, though. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to
Yeah.
spend just like a year in Vietnam. I really would. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Mauritius has also applied to join BRICS. I didn't even know that. Now we gotta do a video on that.
I just I look at BRICS like countries just stepping up and want to just want to get paid in their own currency. That's what America kind of did with the tariffs in a way. Why do all these countries tariff us, but we can't tariff them? And these are third world countries. America would say that's teaming up, that's coming together.
So since they're so third world, why are they intimidated, right? Since America is the elite place of the planet, why is that so intimidating? Unless they've been telling lies. The West has been lying to humanity for a long time, but it's like time's up. Some of the most recent countries that have wanted to join the conglomerate of BRICS, Belarus, which is right by Russia, they are Russia's allies. Bolivia, South America. Cuba, near the Caribbean. Kazakhstan, that's like near the Middle East, kind of also like Europe. I guess you could call it more like the Middle East and Asia though. Malaysia in Asia. Thailand, phenomenal 5-year digital nomad visa. I have family, we both have family that have lived in Thailand. Uganda, Uzbekistan, and Nigeria, okay? And so you just have to wonder, in the event that all of these countries join, in the event that the stock market continues to plunge below 20 and 40% of what it was valued at, in the event that the strongest chip manufacturer, i.e. NVIDIA, continues to go below 7%, losing their resources, it's like an equation when you, or even like an ingredients list, when you have all the ingredients on the back of a package, what do you think is going to happen with that package? It's not going to be peace and stability, that's for sure. It's definitely not going to be that. It's going to be an economy that's decimated, houses that will not sell, businesses that close down, and a recession that's worse than the Great Depression.
Yeah, it's happening, man. It's crazy because it's happening. Like we see the videos. You go on TikTok and just look videos up. It's people saying, yeah, I used to get 40 hours at Walmart, now I get 10. Everybody get 10 hours now.
Yeah.
So everybody part-time. I can't even imagine that. Like you got a solid job, 40 hours a week, you know, making decent money. And then one day you come in, they say, everybody, we got to cut hours to 10 hours. That's literally one day. Or maybe, dang, what you going to do? Two days a week? Or 2 hours a week? Or 2 hours a day a week?
5.
That's like
2 days.
Right?
Unless you work in 5 days and you work for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's happening. Big companies.
Yeah.
It's closing down too.
Yeah.
Look up companies closing in 2025 in America.
Oh, that's a good one. Yo, it's like you can't hide from it. Just live in reality. Start to look at these things. And as you watch these live videos, your algorithm is going to be catered toward content like this. Your algorithm feeds you what you like to watch, okay? And so if you want knowledge, pursue it. If you want to understand finance, pursue that knowledge. If you want to understand some of these geopolitics that are happening, pursue that. If you want to travel abroad, pursue knowledge about that and pursue videos and content that relate to that. Because at the end of the day, I can't even imagine what next year looks like, let alone next month in America, period.
Really. And guys,
especially with that Boeing announcement, I'm telling you, as somebody that has worked with government I'm telling you, Boeing is one of the biggest contractors, okay? And so then you losing a lot of that revenue, it's definitely not going to boost the American economy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Like, and if you guys are appreciating this information, guys, make sure you like the video. We appreciate likes. Likes are for free. So yeah, make sure you like the videos. 46 people in the chat and 14 likes. So make sure you like the video. But we're about to name all these stores. I didn't know there's that many.
I didn't either. It's kind of nostalgia, you know. Some of these we used to go to, like, it's literally kind of the end of an era.
Oh, I saw
it's
it.
The
Where
end
was
of that
it?
Era.
Where was it? It was Burlington Coat Factory.
Oh, that used to be nice. It's closed.
They said $5 or something.
Dang.
Or 5 cents. It was something
5
crazy.
cents.
They trying to blowout sale. 5 cents or something.
Down.
5 cents or $5.
Y'all know, if y'all live in Ohio, y'all know Burlington Coat Factory. That used to be the nice little place you could get your children's clothes.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, y'all. We looked up for 2025 the biggest closures that are happening in America currently. Again, we are in Q2 of the year. Okay, the world is split into 4 quarters in a year. We are in Q2, the top of Q2. So far, the top hitters that are losing their stores: Joann Fabrics. My mom used to love to go to Joann Fabrics because she's an artist. Kohl's. Y'all remember Kohl's? My granny used to take me to Kohl's and JCPenney's. JCPenney. Y'all remember JCPenney? They had like the little makeup, or at least in Ohio they did. Big Lots. Y'all remember Big Lots? Again, these are affordable stores. Please, I hope that y'all understand. Please, when you pray for an understanding. When you see affordable stores going out of business, that's not a good sign. That means your economy is on the way out. And the Great Depression, just so you know, if y'all didn't listen in history class, I remember the Great Depression lasted for an entire 10 years. Just let's get some context. Let's understand this. And we're just at the beginning of this. So, Macy's is closing 66 stores as part of a broader plan to close 150 unproductive locations by 2026. Joann Fabrics is closing 500 of its 850 stores.
That's wild.
After filing for bankruptcy. But the American economy is great, right? And this is all fear-mongering. Okay. JCPenney is closing a handful of stores by mid-2025.
That's like
Big Lots is closing 300 stores due to bankruptcy. But everything's fine. All these companies going bankrupt. Don't look, nothing to see. Macy's, 66 stores. I used to love Macy's. Like, it's literally the end of an era. That's why it's so bittersweet.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, we got in Ohio, you got mostly all these stores in Ohio. Party City. All corporate owned Party City locations. Not 100. Not 500, all.
Oh.
Woo! Party City locate. Guess where they got that stuff? Where they get that stuff from? Party City? I say, my people better wake up. Oh my gosh. 600 stores will close for Party City, all of them. Y'all remember Walgreens? We used to love Walgreens, y'all. We used to go up in Walgreens. You get your little. My granny used to love Walgreens. Okay, we would go in Walgreens. What you trying to say? We would go to Walgreens, y'all, get our little candy, get some photos printed out for fun. Y'all know they had those little booths where you could like take your little. Y'all remember those cameras? Yeah. You'd like snap a shot and then like take the film roll to Walgreens. They'd print out the photos for you, okay? Walgreens is closing 500 stores in the 2025 fiscal year as a part of a plan to close 1,200 stores by 2027. But everything's fine, right? Dollar General. Oh, dang. You remember Dollar General? You know, my granny used to despise if I went to Dollar General and would have tried to buy food there. She would be like, that food is fake. She would come at me like, do not. Dollar General is closing 96 stores and 45 Pop Shelf stores. I haven't heard of Pop Shelf. Maybe that's like in the South or something. Yeah. Best Buy. Hello, chip manufacturing stocks. Chip manufacturing companies. Hello. Didn't we just talk about how chip manufacturers are losing in the market right now? Best Buy is closing several stores in 2025, continuing a trend of reducing its physical footprint. They said, we're going online. We can't afford this stuff. Hello. If you don't have an online business, hello. Best Buy said, you know what? We can ship this stuff out from anywhere. Why you need to come up in here and we paying all this rent and all this stuff? Hello. Family Dollar, a brand owned by Dollar Tree, closing 370 locations as what? Leases expire. Pause. Let's empathize.
Leases
Family
expire.
Dollar has all these stores that they're paying rent to. Okay? These 370 locations across the nation. Somebody leave a comment. Let me know what happens to these landlords when Family Dollar can no longer pay.
Yeah.
Does anybody know? Raise your hand. Tell us what happens when Family Dollar cannot maintain these 370 stores. What happens to these landlords? They are at risk of their properties going back to the banks. Or they try to exit plan, sell off the property, but everybody's trying to sell right now, so you got to bring the value way below market. This is how economy works. This is how the market moves. This is business and economics. I used to love economics class in school. Okay? Liberated Brands. What is, I don't know this one. The owner of Volcom.
Quicksilver.
What is Quicksilver?
It's like a clothing store. They got it here in Mauritius. I'll be seeing it. It's a nice little brand and stuff.
Okay, I had never heard of that. Quicksilver. Foot Locker. Y'all remember Foot Locker?
Yeah,
Starbucks. I know y'all know
that.
Starbucks. I know CVS.
Yeah. It's so much happening, y'all. But you know, you're really not gonna know this information unless you try to look for it. Because all they're feeding you is compost. Trump. This the economies is like 2 days it'd be red, and then one day it be green and be like,
happy.
And everybody's happy off the like you -2 + 1 every time. -2 + 1
Somebody please
every
do
time.
some math.
That's not how you gonna keep going. You're not gonna grow from that. -2 + 1. -2 + 1.
Minus 10 plus
1. Yeah, -10 + 8. You get what I'm saying? It's like,
you're still on a downtrend either way.
You're still losing. You're still gonna lose.
It's a downtrend either. Asia knows this. Africa knows this. And FYI, just in case anybody didn't know, Africa, the entire continent, has kicked out all their contracts they had with America suppliers. All the contracts in every single one of the 54 countries in Africa are no longer accepting American hand good, whatever type of thrift store goods. Plus, nobody needs that. Nobody wants
NGOs
thrift store stuff. Nobody wants NGO nonprofit stuff. Nobody needs that. Nobody wants Ford vehicles in Africa. Why do we need Ford vehicles when Burkina Faso just come out with their electric car? Kenya over there got some cars.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe out there got some cars. Why do we need Ford over here? We don't, period. Get out.
I'm talking about Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore.
I gotta go find that.
Who do he side with? If you believe and see what he's doing, and you be like, man, I respect this guy. This guy is serious. This is a brother that we need to rule. You get what I'm saying? In Africa. And who do he choose? Because President Donald Trump sure said, hey, come to the
inauguration.
Yeah, come here when I become president. He said, no, I will decline. You know. But he's over here meeting with China. And China's helping him with agriculture, construction. You get what I'm saying? Trying to help them build the country up. Instead of say, oh, no, we're going to tax you 200%.
See, and this is why scripture literally says in Psalms 35, the deceitful fall in their own traps, okay? This is the type of thing Africa didn't have to fight no fights. Look at Germany. Look at Belgium's
You've got
economy.
the vision.
Oh my
Now,
God.
how do you communicate it to
Look at the UK's economy. Did any African troops have to fight these Western people? No. The deceitful and wicked fall in the traps that they make for other people, period. So all the people on the earth have to do in the global hemisphere is just wait it out and see, okay, what is our creator going to do? What are the opportunities that we have? What does our ancient path told us? When us as African economies traded with China, traded with Iran, traded with Saudi Arabia, traded with what is now Singapore, traded with Russia, traded with all these different demographics. So then it's really simple. Somebody left a comment earlier in the chat. Just 100 years ago, all Koreans were African looking. Period. Now, didn't Korea just say they wanted some brothers to come out there?
Look, it's crazy. Like you should know this. You should know this, especially if you're watching us.
I know our kids know it. We teach them.
You should know the whole world got whited out. And that's the truth. Like,
it's reality. Everybody
that's reality.
knows
That's the truth. You can't be mad. I said that.
It's reality.
And some people get so mad. Like, what? What are you talking about? This is the truth that we're talking about. These are facts.
Literally. Y'all look up the Afro-Japanese.
White it out.
Y'all look up the Afro-Thai, the Afro-Filipino people who are still in the Philippines.
They got an agenda.
The Afro-Iranians.
The agenda is starting to crumble.
The agenda been crumbled. The agenda is gone. The agenda is desolated. There is no more. The propaganda that used to work just 5 years ago, honestly, in 2020. Now people, we talk to people in Mauritius and they're like, I was talking to a Nigerian sister actually. She was like, is all that stuff about America true? I said, yes. Sis. She was like, yeah, I don't never want to go there. I said, that's right. I said, we was about to high five.
Yeah.
You don't never want to go there. Like, African people are waking up. They're looking at TikTok. They're looking at how Americans
TikTok
live.
Is popular. Yeah.
Chinese are looking at how Americans live. Y'all remember that app they had, Red Note? Where Americans and Chinese were doing like the little switch thing and seeing, oh, this is how it is in America. This is how it is in China.
Oh, yeah.
The Chinese afraid for Americans, like, why do y'all live like that? Humanity don't live like that anywhere else on the world.
Yeah.
Anywhere else,
and then
period.
You can do a comparison of the 1970s, 1980s in America versus, 2025. Everything back then was so colorful. Seemed like the energy was different, but now it's just so black and white, black and gray. When it comes to cars, the cars are so colorful. Houses was colorful, but now all the houses, McDonald's. Think about that. McDonald's is just bland. They had a playground.
They got depressed, didn't they?
Yeah, like that's literally what's happening. They're showing you, they're telling you what's happening, and in every way. But it's just really up to you if you're going to wake up.
Wake up, Jacob.
Wake up, Jacob.
Wake up.
Hallelujah.
You got to wake up. You got to wake up. And, we'll continue to warn you because that's just our due service. It's only right. My grandparents, they would have this painting on the wall, and it was of a black man reaching his hand down to pull up another black man. And the painting, it was just like the arm and the arm. Like, pull back as you escalate and go up. Reach back out for your community. Show up. Service people, help people to understand this, be patient with people because we are a little bit ahead of our time. We are young.
Service and help people, right?
Service and help your people, period.
Yeah.
Like, even if one or two gets it, it's fine. Like, we serve a king that literally said, I will go back for the one. We as his people, we keep that mindset. Like, I will go back, not physically back. I'm not going back to America, but I will physically come on here and speak to Americans or Canadians, UKians, even though that's not the right term, German, black people, whoever, who are like, let me get out of here. Humanity as a whole, period. Any human that's looking at these things and saying, you know what, it's time for me to leave the West. I need to go live in a little village in Spain, a little village in Portugal, a little village in Thailand, like wherever you are, leave that nation. Leave that nation and go wherever you please. Look, you can go to a country called Vanuatu if you want.
Right.
It's in the Pacific Ocean. They have a fabulous digital nomad program. And if you invest $130,000, you get citizenship. There's options out here, folks. But you need to be in the right circles. You have to be in the right communities. You have to look at what's happening and move. And it has to be swift movement. It can't be slow movement.
You gotta want it. You gotta want it for yourself. Because it's really a mindset thing. Once you really start to elevate your mind, you will have that common sense. Like, I need to get away from here. I need to think about my 2, 5, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to, you don't want to.
Yeah.
We ain't talking, like, it's that simple. If you look, somebody said Africa is a poor country. If you think that, that's cool.
Africa's not a country,
But
number one.
or something, did he say that? Yeah, he said country. Yeah, so yeah. So
Yeah, look, when y'all
but
come
it's
talk,
like
y'all gotta come with the facts.
all the poor countries
please,
right
when
now.
You come to this channel.
Country.
I'm gonna get you. Me
It's a
and
continent, not a country.
some of our members gonna get you. Our subscribers, we on it. We are educated. You look.
That's funny.
Come on, speak facts, please.
But yeah, like these poor countries, they say these third world countries is starting to team up. Like you go look at India, you probably like, dang, this is crazy. No, India is a superpower. China is a superpower.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Africa is superpower. The look,
superest power there is right now on Earth,
they tell
aside
you,
from Yahusha.
Everything they tell you, just it's the opposite. Whatever is
Yeah.
bad is probably good. And you might want to be like, is it bad? Whatever is good, you might want to be like, it's just good.
Yeah.
Like really.
Book of Isaiah, do not call everything that this people calls a conspiracy. That's literally what that means.
And,
Do not listen to propaganda from the West and from people that are of your people that do not know what the heck they're talking about. If they say it's a conspiracy, don't believe them. We know this how? Because 2020, period. We were warning people in 2019. People were like, well, you need to work, and you need to, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need, and it was like, and people are passing away now because of these exacerbated clots that are this long. Literally.
It's wild. And I say this, I can see like Donald Trump, he wants America to be great again. He wants America to be the richest country. He wants America to be Dubai. When you look at Dubai, you think, when you see Dubai and the UAE and stuff, you see all this luxury and stuff like that. Futuristic. That's how Trump is trying to portray America. So it's going to be people that's going to be in America with a lot of money. And that's it. If that's what it is, go ahead. But it's gonna fall. It's just gonna fall. You gotta know the end game.
Yeah.
You gotta play chess.
You do play chess. I'm more of a checkers girl.
You gotta she tell her to stop playing checkers.
It's
not time for checkers. It's not time for checkers, y'all. It's time for chess.
Chess is difficult. You
It's
try
not,
to teach me
though.
chess.
It's not
You like
difficult.
the king gotta move left, right. The queen can only go backwards, forwards. The knight gotta go to the left, right. And I'm like, this is like math. This is like
you gotta
math
have a
class I
strategy.
cannot. This
at
is
the
like
end of
algebra
the day.
2.
You
I was
gotta
like, I
have-
feel like I'm doing calculus. I said, this chess stuff. But yeah, I think it's good that you play chess. And you teach our children that. Because, child, my brain, I can't register it, y'all.
Mhm.
But yeah, Captain Traore and China are now getting together on a new giant project that has exposed Western weakness, okay? This is from the New Tourist Africa. Let's tune in real quick, y'all. Let's listen real quick together.
If we adjusted that amount for
Oh,
inflation,
this one.
it would be around $130 billion. Still a pretty big number, right?
We'll leave the
Here's where it
video in
gets
the
wild.
description. I'll
China
copy
has
and
been
paste
spending
it.
way more than that in Africa. In just the last decade, Chinese companies have locked
think
in
they
deals
did.
for roads, railways, bridges, dams, you name it, worth
not
over
thinking.
$700
Yeah,
billion.
'cause I think we did this
That's not a
before.
typo.
We put it like
It's more than
that.
6
So, China has been spending more than 6 times billions of dollars into Africa, okay?
times the cost of rebuilding all of Europe after a world war. And they're not slowing down. Just in 2024, China pumped another $51 billion into Africa for new projects. So what exactly are they building? And how
China pumped $54 billion into Africa in 2024.
Yeah, and when you get out of America and you see luxury, it's not that expensive. Or I'll say it's not that expensive how America make it seems. Like you come to Malaysia and Thailand and stuff, and here in Mauritius, you be like, dang, this stuff is nice. Like,
yeah,
you would think this stuff probably costs millions of dollars or something. No.
and it doesn't. It's
No.
attainable, guys. We try to tell y'all this. What's up, Mob Marley? Yes, we're still stacking XRP. My husband is.
Yeah, of course. Look, it's
Staying
time.
with the XRP.
It's really it's really time to
It's
just
go time.
be quiet. The wise people in the last days are just gonna be quiet.
Facts. That's what the
We
book
try
of Baruch says.
but we come on here and say what we say and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We can't convince anybody else. If you're gonna listen, it's gonna spark plant a seed or something. All praises, but
Yeah.
it's not time to convince. It's maybe time to put fear in people, the fear of the Most High or something. I don't know.
Listen, even if you are on the fence right now about where to go, or if you want to stay in America, at least at the very minimum, learn technical analysis, learn trading, learn the markets, get some XRP, because it's literally going to be like Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin, when you were left behind, you were just left behind. You was just sitting there like, oops, I'm too late. Once you're too late, you're too late. Once it's all the way exploded like that, it's too late. Okay? So at least, if you don't take nothing else, go buy some XRP and hold it forever. Literally, hold it until you can't hold it
Just go spend $10 on it. Go spend
Hold it.
$10 and then forget about it. Because if you would have did that with Bitcoin, man, that'd been crazy.
We didn't have the knowledge back then.
Yeah, we didn't.
We
know
got the
that.
knowledge now.
And then if we did that, us and Mark of the Beast, and we put $10 on it, back then in 2010, and then forgot about it,
That would
and
have
woke
been
up
nice.
and been like,
That would
oh
have been
snap,
cool. That would have been great.
that's what's gonna happen.
That would have been great. Yeah, guys. So Burkina Faso and China, they're working together. Burkina Faso is doing their networking because at the end of the day, they're not going to need US dollar, period. Burkina Faso does not need US dollar. India does not need US dollar. China does not need US dollar. Mauritius does not need US dollar. We don't even use US dollar. I don't know why Americans think that we use US dollar in Africa. But when you're in Africa, you use, unless you're in like, I think Zimbabwe maybe uses US dollar.
Yeah,
But
like Mexico
aside
and
from like
stuff
places
that.
like that, you trade and do business in the currency that they have. We're in Mauritius. We use the Mauritian rupee. Sometimes we will have to transfer money to like the euro, but that's about it. Okay, and that's only if we're traveling internationally that we trade to euro, because US dollar is not flowing on this side of the world anymore, and it has not been for a very long time. That should have been a signal to tell people, but unless you travel, you're not going to know these things. When you go across the seas and you in the Middle East, or you in a certain country in Africa, and they're like, hey, we don't have any US dollar. So you're like, oh, can I get some euro? Chinese yuan?
Some pound,
Do I
Great
need
Britain
yen?
pound.
What do I need? Right? These are things that people don't know when they just stay in one place and complain all day. You would never notice. You would never know if you are not well traveled and well diversified and have your money into different places across the continent and the world, for us the continent, then you wouldn't know these things at the end of the day. Okay?
Yeah.
So India and China, they're gonna be cool. Iran, I don't know what they're gonna be doing out there, but they're gonna figure it out and be all right too. All the people in the southern hemisphere are going to be more than all right. They're going to be on the good side of the stick this time, because the time of the wicked Western principality oppressors has come to a swift end. It's done. Mob Marley says, I'm leaving for Thailand next week. Wow, enjoy. That should be awesome. I hear really good things about Thailand. I was looking at their digital nomad visas, their housing. I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. It's no wonder that my grandparents had spent some time overseas in Asia. I was looking at the Philippines and Vietnam like, oh my gosh, I need to do a vacation to Vietnam. Now, Mauritius is my home, y'all. I love Mauritius. But I would just love to spend like a month in Vietnam, to be honest, or a month in the Philippines to see the place that my dad had spent a good portion of his childhood in, and to meet the Afro-Filipinos. Like, that's the kind of mindset and mode we're on. Completely. Thailand's super cheap. That's what we hear. We hear really good things about Thailand. Enjoy yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah, man,
That's
enjoy
awesome.
because, like, and that's another thing. You gotta find your peace and you gotta find your joy. Like, that's what really matters, and that's why we say like America's gonna stress a lot of people out. Like, especially if you already took the COVID vaccine and stuff like that.
You're not
Oh.
Maybe they didn't hear that
Yeah.
part. Cover your
Blah.
language and.
But yeah, if you already did that, and
you took the prick.
it's gonna stress you out even more, and cause sickness and stuff. So in these last days, you really got to find your peace. You really got to find joy. You really got to enjoy life, because everything right now is happening for a reason. That's why I always say it's happening for a reason. What's happening right now is for a reason. It has to happen. It has to happen. So that shouldn't take your joy away. That shouldn't take your peace away. That shouldn't take certain things like that away.
Facts. Martha Mukwambi. Hey sis. She says we use our own currencies here from Namibia. That's awesome. Namibia, another place I want to visit. They also have a digital nomad visa. Hey, this font is hard to read. I'm sorry. Kenya already rolled out the nomad visa. Okay. That's what's up. Y'all know we are Kenyan. We are of the Luya people, okay? And we love Kenya, and we need to go visit. Speaking of Namibia, the Chinese are currently helping, and the Namibian economy is booming. Oh, okay. I have to look into that. That's awesome. That's really good. Strategic partnerships. And if you understand the spirit of most Africans and even Asians is the spirit and mindset of Ubuntu, that means I am because we are. That means when we are in community, that means I'm going to be kind to you. I'm going to be peaceful to you. When you are in Africa or even in Asia, you get to experience that. And it's the best thing on the planet, to be quite honest, where you can go to a foreign country and find more family than you have in Western society. Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Right.
Literally.
And then they look at you weird because you're not used to that.
And you trying to like regulate your nervous system, like, oh my gosh, you want to hug my child? Like, you wanna hug my daughter? You wanna invite us for dinner? You came to fix our plumbing?
Right.
30 minutes notice?
You gonna cook for you?
You like us that much?
You saw it. Look,
you're this kind?
Your husband said that we got 5 children, right? And you said you want to cook for us. You sure? You want to cook for us?
We're a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
You sure? That's gonna be a lot of curry and a lot of roti. Okay.
But I'm telling
that's
you,
gonna be a lot.
They make it work out. Like,
so welcoming, man.
Yeah.
Just the enrichment that you get when traveling Africa, man. It's crazy. Even going back to like Tonga region, up in the village. Oh my gosh, the kindest people.
Right.
Were the people that you just met. Africans are always like this, by the way.
Invite
West
you over
Indies.
To their house.
They literally say, like
for
that grandpa.
$250.
That grandpa in the village, he would literally be like, hold your hand.
So you just
Tuko Pamoja. I was like, oh, he really my grandpa, isn't he?
like, really,
he
like
really my grandpa.
Looking in people's eyes, about to cry. Like, I can feel it. Like, really.
For real,
yeah,
that's the African.
Really.
That's life outside of the West.
I remember this one time I was about to go to a restaurant that will cost me, I think it was 30,000. Yeah, I think it was 30,000.
$12, 15,
yeah, $12,
13,
right?
depending on USD index.
To go eat like a whole meal.
Shout out to Magaroto.
But
in
the
Tanzania.
person I just worked with said, no, I got some potatoes. I got some sweet potatoes over here. It's cooking and stuff. It's probably done now. Come eat it. I'm like, I don't want to say no. That's rude. So I went to go eat it, and I was full. I ate it. We was literally sitting in his mud house. He built for $250. He's adding on to it. Got the roof and everything up. We eating in his house a potato, squatting down on like a rock, eating like a local. And that was probably the best moment. Like those moments right there is just so great, like really. And in a mud house, sitting on a stone,
wow,
eating a potato, a sweet potato.
Wow.
Get a little chumvi, get a little salt, put it on there, and eat it. And you good. And you full. You full for a couple hours.
Chumvi is salt in Swahili.
So you gotta accept those. You gotta allow those memories right there to keep you at peace and keep you humble, really.
Yeah, they do keep you humble, that's for sure. When you come outside of America, you are definitely humbled and realize, wow, this is like, what have we been doing in America? Well, we've been living in the Matrix in some kind of insane aside, like what? It makes America look like an insane asylum.
Really?
Quite
It's a big
honest.
circus.
It really does.
But this phone's about to die.
Phone's about to die, guys. Yes, we are good in Swahili. I can't wait to visit Kenya and Tanzania. I'm getting the vacation itch. Y'all know I love traveling. I really do.
Yeah. Not before we.
But we'll see, because these Boeing contracts, they acting wild. So,
Yeah.
is there
All
gonna be
praises.
airplanes anymore? Who knows?
All
Who
praises to
knows?
the Most High, guys. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Make sure you like the video if you haven't. We greatly appreciate all the views, all the support,
And
all
thank
the
you for the
comments too.
$4 super chat.
Yes, thank you for the super chat.
Completely thank you and are appreciative of you. You guys have a fabulous day. Shalom, shalom.
We might as well.
Read the word.
No, we're not scammers. We a family of 7 that get it out the mud ourselves, and people hate to see black families together and stand together, like really working together. So, talk to anybody that's real. You understand? Because we just real over here. We ain't fake. And
Shalom,
we just say
shalom.
all praises to the Most High.
Mhm.
Everything's happening for a reason.
Yep.
Shalom, shalom, guys. Peace.